Have you ever found yourself in a situation where the only way forward felt like stepping back? Where the most powerful action you could take was, in fact, inaction? In a world that constantly pushes us to engage, to confront, to always be present, there are profound moments when true strength lies in the strategic art of creating distance. This isn't about avoidance or giving up. It's about wisdom, self-preservation, and gaining perspective. We're going to explore 8 such scenarios, drawing on ancient Stoic wisdom and modern psychological insights, to illuminate how distance can become your most potent tool for peace, clarity, and growth. By the end of this, you'll not only recognize these situations, but also feel empowered to navigate them with grace and foresight. So if you're ready to unlock a deeper understanding of strategic disengagement and master the art of knowing when to step away, then make sure you subscribe to join our community of thoughtful navigators on this journey of self-mastery. There are times when the emotional intensity of a situation becomes so overwhelming that our judgment is clouded, and our reactions are driven more by instinct than by reason. Imagine a heated argument with a loved one, a colleague, or even a stranger. In the thick of it, every word feels like an attack, every glance a challenge. Our heart rate increases, our breath quickens, and our thoughts become circular, replaying perceived slights and fueling our anger or defensiveness. This is a prime example of when emotional distance is not just beneficial, but crucial. The Stoics understood that our emotions, while natural, can be unruly masters if not properly managed. Seneca, for instance, often spoke about the importance of reason dominating passion. When we step back physically or mentally from such a charged environment, we create a vital space for our prefrontal cortex, the rational part of our brain, to kick back in. This isn't about ignoring the problem. It's about allowing ourselves the opportunity to process what's happening without the immediate pressure of an emotional response. Think of it like a camera lens fogged up by humidity. You can't see clearly until you step into a drier environment. This distance allows the fog of intense emotion to dissipate, giving us a clearer view of the situation, the other person's perspective, and our own role in the dynamic. It enables us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, leading to more constructive outcomes and preserving relationships that might otherwise be damaged by a torrent of unexamined feelings. It's an act of self-care and wisdom, recognizing that sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is to walk away for a moment, gather yourself, and return with a calm and collected mind. Another critical situation where distance proves to be the best solution is when you find yourself entangled in persistent conflict or drama that is not directly yours, or that you cannot reasonably influence. We've all been there, caught in the crossfire of office politics, mediating endless family squabbles, or listening to a friend endlessly recount their grievances without seeking genuine solutions. While compassion and support are valuable, there comes a point where continued proximity to such negativity begins to drain your own energy, contaminate your outlook, and detract from your own well-being. The Stoic concept of focusing on what is within our control is profoundly relevant here. We can control our responses, our boundaries, and where we direct our attention. We cannot control other people's choices to engage in drama or their unwillingness to resolve their issues. Psychologically, being constantly exposed to high conflict environments can lead to empathy fatigue, secondary trauma, and a significant increase in stress hormones. It's like standing too close to a fire. You might feel compelled to help, but eventually you'll get burned. Creating distance in these scenarios isn't selfish. It's an act of self-preservation and a recognition of your limited capacity. It means setting boundaries, politely excusing yourself from conversations that devolve into gossip or blame, or even physically removing yourself from spaces where drama thrives. This doesn't mean abandoning those you care about, but rather understanding that your energy and mental space are finite resources. By stepping back, you prevent yourself from becoming collateral damage, preserve your emotional equilibrium, and maintain the capacity to offer genuine, constructive support when it truly matters, rather than being perpetually exhausted by endless, unproductive engagement. It's a powerful assertion of your own agency and a wise deployment of your personal resources. Then there are those moments when you feel trapped in a rut, whether in your career, your personal life, or even your creative pursuits. The sense of stagnation can be suffocating, making every day feel like a repeat of the last, devoid of inspiration or genuine progress. This is a clear signal that you need a different kind of distance, a strategic detachment to gain perspective. When we are too deeply embedded in our routines, our habitual ways of thinking, and our immediate environment, it becomes incredibly difficult to see alternative paths or identify the root causes of our inertia. Imagine trying to read the label on a bottle that's pressed right against your nose. You need to pull it back, create some distance, to bring it into focus. The Stoics valued contemplation and self-reflection as essential tools for growth, urging us to regularly examine our lives and choices. Psychologically, this distancing effect allows us to shift from a first-person, immersed perspective to a third-person, observer perspective. This cognitive shift can unlock new insights, reveal patterns we've missed, and help us critically evaluate what's working and what isn't without the emotional baggage of being in the thick of it. This might involve taking a vacation, even a short one, to a new environment, embarking on a solo retreat to reflect, trying a completely new hobby or skill that forces your brain to think differently, or even simply dedicating specific time each day for quiet contemplation away from distractions. The goal is to break the pattern, to disrupt the familiar, and to create a mental and physical space where fresh ideas can emerge. This distance isn't about escaping your problems. It's about gaining the clarity and mental space needed to solve them more effectively, to innovate, and to chart a new, more fulfilling course. It's an intentional step back that ultimately propels you forward with renewed vigor and a clearer sense of direction. Consider the pervasive influence of toxic people in our lives. These are individuals whose presence consistently diminishes your energy, erodes your self-esteem, or manipulates you for their own gain. They might be perpetually negative, critical, demanding, or intentionally hurtful. When you are constantly exposed to such individuals, their negativity can permeate your own psychological space, slowly but surely impacting your mood, your outlook, and even your perception of yourself. This is a prime situation where emotional and sometimes physical distance is not just beneficial, but absolutely necessary for your mental and emotional survival. The Stoics taught us about the importance of protecting our inner citadel, our reasoned mind, from external disturbances. While we cannot control others' behavior, we absolutely can control our exposure to it. Psychologically, maintaining close proximity to toxic individuals can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, depression, and a loss of personal agency. It's like trying to grow a vibrant garden next to a patch of weeds that constantly choke out your plants. Eventually, your garden will suffer. Creating distance means setting firm boundaries, limiting interaction, or in some extreme cases, severing ties entirely. This might involve declining invitations, limiting phone calls, reducing shared activities, or even changing jobs if the toxicity is in your workplace and cannot be mitigated. It is not about being unkind or uncaring, but rather an act of profound self-respect and self-preservation. You are safeguarding your well-being, protecting your emotional landscape from contamination, and reclaiming your right to a peaceful and positive existence. This distance empowers you to thrive, to flourish, and to surround yourself with individuals who uplift and support you rather than those who drain your spirit. It's a courageous decision to prioritize your own peace and to cultivate relationships that genuinely contribute to your growth and happiness. Sometimes the distance required is from constant overstimulation and the relentless demands of the modern world. We live in an era of perpetual connectivity, where notifications ping, emails arrive, and social media feeds refresh endlessly. Our minds are constantly bombarded with information, expectations, and the perceived need to be always on. This incessant noise can lead to mental fatigue, decreased focus, heightened anxiety, and a feeling of being perpetually overwhelmed. In such a scenario, creating distance means actively disconnecting to reconnect with yourself. The Stoics emphasize the importance of tranquility, ataraxia, and inner peace, recognizing that true well-being comes from a calm and ordered mind, not from endless external engagement. Psychologically, our brains are not designed for this level of constant input. Just like any muscle, our cognitive resources need rest and recovery. Without it, we become less effective, more irritable, and lose our capacity for deep thought and creativity. This distance might involve digital detoxes, stepping away from screens for hours, days, or even longer. It could mean seeking out quiet spaces in nature, practicing mindfulness or meditation, or simply dedicating time to hobbies that demand full, undistracted attention, like reading a physical book, painting, or gardening. It's about consciously carving out pockets of silence and solitude in your day, week, or month. This isn't about escaping reality. It's about recalibrating your nervous system, allowing your mind to decompress, and giving yourself the space to hear your own thoughts and feelings without the constant din of external demands. By creating this intentional distance from the external world's clamor, you replenish your mental energy, improve your focus, reduce stress, and cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace and clarity, making you more resilient and effective when you do choose to engage. It's an essential strategy for navigating the complexities of modern life without losing your center. Consider the moments when you are relentlessly pursuing a goal, pushing yourself to the brink, only to find yourself hitting a wall, feeling burnout, or making diminishing returns. This is a classic sign that you need to apply the solution of distance, not as a form of surrender, but as a strategic retreat to regroup and reevaluate. When we are too deeply entrenched in the process, our vision can narrow, and we can lose sight of the bigger picture or alternative approaches. We become so focused on the immediate effort that we fail to see inefficiencies or even realize if the goal itself is still truly serving us. The Stoics understood that true progress isn't just about endless toil, but also about wise judgment and adaptability. They would encourage us to periodically step back and assess if our actions align with our virtues and if our efforts are being wisely spent. Psychologically, prolonged, uninterrupted effort without breaks can lead to cognitive fatigue, decreased problem-solving abilities, and a loss of motivation. It's like trying to cut down a tree with a dull axe. More effort doesn't necessarily mean more progress, and sometimes a break to sharpen the blade or reconsider the tree is what's truly needed. This distance might manifest as taking a proper break from the project, getting away from your workspace, or even engaging in unrelated activities that allow your subconscious mind to work on the problem in the background. It could also involve seeking an outside perspective, talking to someone completely unrelated to your goal who can offer a fresh viewpoint. The purpose of this distance is to gain objectivity, to allow for creative solutions to emerge, and to prevent burnout. By stepping back, you can reassess your strategies, recalibrate your efforts, and often return to your pursuit with renewed energy, a clearer plan, and a much higher chance of success. It's a testament to the idea that sometimes the most productive thing you can do is to temporarily stop being productive. There are also those challenging situations where a personal failure, a significant mistake, or a profound disappointment leaves us reeling. In these moments, it's incredibly easy to become consumed by self-blame, regret, and a relentless replaying of what-ifs. The spiral of negative self-talk and rumination can paralyze us, preventing us from learning, healing, and moving forward. Here, the distance needed is a psychological one, a conscious effort to detach from the immediate emotional weight of the event and gain a broader perspective. The Stoics, with their emphasis on accepting what cannot be changed and focusing on our responses, offer immense wisdom here. They would remind us that while we cannot undo the past, we can control how we interpret and respond to it. Psychologically, self-compassion research highlights the importance of treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a friend. When we are too close to our failures, we often lose this compassionate perspective, instead engaging in harsh self-criticism. Creating distance means reframing the experience not as a definitive judgment of our worth, but as a learning opportunity, a stepping stone on our path. This might involve journaling to externalize our thoughts and feelings, talking to a trusted mentor or therapist who can offer an objective viewpoint, or consciously engaging in activities that provide a sense of perspective, like spending time in nature or reflecting on broader life values. It also means actively stopping the rumination, gently redirecting our thoughts when we catch ourselves spiraling into regret. This isn't about denying the pain or the reality of the mistake. It's about creating a space between the event and our identity. It allows us to process the emotions in a healthier way, extract the valuable lessons, and then consciously choose to release the burden of self-condemnation. By creating this psychological distance, we transform a potential roadblock into a stepping stone, empowering ourselves to heal, grow, and approach future challenges with resilience and renewed wisdom. Finally, consider the moments when you feel pressured to conform to external expectations that don't align with your values, your authentic self, or your true desires. This could stem from societal norms, family traditions, peer pressure, or even subtle influences from social media. When we are too deeply immersed in the expectations of others, we risk losing touch with our own inner compass, leading to feelings of inauthenticity, dissatisfaction, and a sense that we are living someone else's life. In such cases, distance is essential for self-discovery and reclaiming your personal autonomy. The Stoics placed great emphasis on living in accordance with nature, not just physical nature, but our own rational, authentic nature. They encouraged us to examine our values and live truthfully rather than being swayed by external opinions. Psychologically, the need for belonging is powerful, but when it overrides our individuality, it can lead to psychological distress and a lack of self-fulfillment. Creating distance in this context means stepping back from the noise of external expectations and tuning into your inner voice. This might involve spending time alone to reflect on what truly matters to you, journaling about your values and aspirations, or even intentionally seeking out diverse perspectives that challenge the norms you've been exposed to. It also means practicing saying no to requests or opportunities that don't resonate with you, even if it causes temporary discomfort. This distance is about creating a sacred space for self-reflection, allowing you to discern between your genuine desires and those that have been imposed upon you. It empowers you to make choices that are truly your own, fostering a sense of integrity and inner peace. By taking this courageous step back from the crowd, you create the necessary room to align your actions with your authentic self, leading to a life that feels genuinely meaningful and deeply fulfilling, rather than just outwardly successful.